Okay, we'll call the order to order the January 21st, 2020 Sewer Commission meeting. Beginning on my right, introductions with Chet.
Chet Bowen, Select Board Rep.
Lynn Pooler, Sewer Secretary.
Tim Redmond, Sewer Commissioner.
Steve Crane, Commissioner.
Rob Trepaz, Commissioner.
Mike Irigo, DPW.
Okay. Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move forward to approval the minutes of November 19, 2019.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Under new business, Mass Road Crossing Project, they just come up and give us a brief overview of what the project's all about.
Certainly. I don't know if any of you have seen the plans, I'll just put them up here quick. The location of the project is across from the Villa Augustina in those fields on either side of, of course, like I say, on either side of Dan Little Brook. I'll just hold it up here.
I can
I'm having a hard time.
forward
Thank you. So, you got Norman Road.
the board in the back, on top of the cabinet.
There's a board on the cabinet, yeah, with clips on it, probably. You have clips on that one? Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Jen, put me right to work.
There you go. I can put it up here now, probably.
Okay.
We'll get to, so basically you have Norman Road here, you have the baseball fields here, you have the rail trail parking here, the rail trail here, Norman Road, Villa Augustina. There's a field here, and there's a field here, and Dan Little Brook splits the development. I think I'll do it down here, because then I can flip the pages. Do this way better. So then, our proposal is on the east end of, on the east side of Dan Little Brook, here, Norman Road. We're putting 16 units in. These units are going to be age restricted, so 55 and older. 2-bedroom, 1 story on the first floor, and then a full basement. And there's 16 units, and there's 2 fourplexes and 4 duplexes. And the sewer will be coming in from the rail trail. There's actually a path right now through the trees of the Eversource land where they cross to their wire. So we're in negotiations to get an easement from them to bring the sewer up to here and then split both ways. The water's coming from Norman Road and dead ending here. On the west side of Little Brook, there's 26 units. This is the one of the entrances to Village Augustina. It loops around to here. There's an existing driveway that goes out to Angel Point. So we're upgrading that because there's an easement through here. These are the power lines here. So you have the road coming and looping around this way. The sewer, there's an existing sewer line that comes up from the rail trail across the Eversource land into the project. It's gravity to here, and then there's a force main that comes across the street from the villa, takes a 90, and then goes into the sewer manhole. We're going to start back from here and lay the sewer flatter so that we can get all these units in and then hook the bring the sewer manhole over to the force main, hook the force main in here. So I know I have some outstanding comments with Mike, which there's nothing difficult in those comments. There's no reason why I can't address all of them fully with no problems. I did hand to him my sewer calculations because this is elderly housing. The state per capita flow does not address senior housing because it's a newer flow than what they address in those requirements. So I was trying to get a read from Mike if what I did was acceptable or not, but again, I can easily address those numbers to satisfy Mike and the sewer commission.
Are you aware of the accessibility fees?
I assume that there are some. No, what they are exactly, no, I'm not. I do not.
Yeah, I said that at the TRC. The
Oh, did you?
accessibility fees are gonna be $5,000 per unit.
Yep.
Okay. And where are we on the process? What's the next step? They have to apply for a state discharge permit?
Well, they're gonna go through the planning board process anyways. So
Okay.
There's quite a few comments on this property.
And the discharge permit comes after
Yeah,
after the planning board?
Once the planning board approves the project and we're all set, we sign off on the plans, then she's sent to the state, and if it's over 5,000 gallons, they also get city master approval.
Okay. Comments?
On the first page you were showing this, on the brook, where your proposal is to access the sewer, is there a manhole right there where you're proposed to access to?
No, they're not. What I talked to Mike about doing was putting a doghouse manhole in. So basically you put the manhole on top of the line and then you break into, and you build a invert underneath it. You break the line, and you build the invert underneath it and then you break the line, and that creates the manhole.
Now, isn't that the interceptor, Mike?
That's it, it's up.
And what's the diameter of the interceptor right there?
27 or 30, one or two. Or 24, I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's a Permalock pipe. You can't just cut the pipe, and you just can't cut the pipe, drop it in manhole and put some fern coats. It's ribbed on the outside. It's Canadian made, and it's not stocked anywhere around here. So I don't even know if that pipe's still manufactured.
So what's our options for the suggestion to use a doghouse manhole there? Any other
Because you
options?
can't cut the.
No, any other options other than that doghouse manhole?
Because
how
you
about-
can't buy that pipe.
How about pumping that from that side over to the other side and using the existing sewer connection to the, pumping it to the other side of the brook and,
Well, everything works on that plan so far is gravity. So you don't want to put a pump station in.
I'm just a little leery about doing a doghouse manhole on top of the interceptor, that's all, because the interceptor is,
Well, the doghouse is, the doghouse, the pipe will not be holding the manhole up. You're gonna have a foundation underneath that. So the foundation's gonna hold the concrete around the pipe. It's like the old style, the 8-inch wall, 4-inch, 4-foot catch basins you used to buy years ago.
Yep.
They had the square cutout.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Except it's made, it's a bigger diameter, it's made, and it's a manhole.
So basically, they're gonna cut the top off the pipe
They're go-
and use the bottom
Then-
of it as the invert.
Use the bottom as invert. You can do that, or you cut the pipe after it's all in and build an invert.
I believe we've allowed it in the past.
Yeah, we done it that way.
we have allowed this in the past?
Yes.
Because St. A's had to do that, because they doghouse over one of the over the existing sewer lines.
So what do they do, a drop inlet, or how do they do that, Mike?
And what they do is they build a concrete bottom to it. And when they build a concrete bottom, of course, you have to put a cement pad under the pipe. Then you're gonna sit the structure on that. The structure's not gonna sit on the pipe, it's gotta sit on the
It
concrete
arches
floor.
over it.
And then the pipe is physically removed inside, so
You
you,
can physically remove the pipe after the manhole's all built, or you can cut half the invert out and you leave the bottom half, because they're gonna tie into the pipe at the same elevation as the crown of that existing interceptor.
So the new invert's at the crown of the,
So the new
Existing.
invert's gonna be the crown of the existing.
Yeah, because we have a 24-inch pipe and we match in it with the 8-inch up here, so the 8-inch is only gonna come down this far.
okay, so you're matching crowns.
So we're
Matching the
absolutely
crowns,
matching
yeah.
crowns.
so When that pipe discharges into the interceptor, what prevents that from dropping and clogging and all that? How's that work? Well, she just pointed out it's gonna be at the center line of the existing pipe, is where the invert of the air pipe is gonna be.
The crown.
It's gonna be at the crown. It's gonna be the top of the pipe.
Could be like that.
The two tops of the pipe are gonna come
That'd
match.
be,
The new one's
be,
gonna come
be
in.
two tops of the pipe are level with each other.
So, right, so when the discharge comes out of the smaller pipe, how does it
It'll drop into the interceptor itself.
drops into the
It
interceptor?
drops, the water will flow into the interceptor. It'll drop into the
This is that
24-inch pipe.
8-inch.
Just trying to get this, because I've seen in the past where we've had sewer manholes, we don't permit them to make a clean drop into the pipe because of the possibility of piling and clogging. I thought those had to be,
So that's the way all your intersections are done in the interceptor.
Okay.
Well, they tie them in.
as long as you say so, I don't like it.
Well, it's a 27-inch pipe. If it was an 8-inch pipe, I see your point, but it's a good 27, maybe even 30-inch, which makes a big difference.
So that's on the east, and then the west side,
The west side, we're reusing the manhole that was put in for the Villa Augustina.
Because that one there, they're going to core the manhole. There's an existing manhole in that one.
Correct.
So they're gonna core the manhole, the crown's at the same elevation. And they'll boot it. Then they'll build it, then they'll build the invert. Because the pipe doesn't go all the way through. There's a regular brick invert in that manhole.
Are you gonna get some drawings on this, some shop drawings for us to review? Or what are we looking at?
Well, normally we won't get, well, we could ask for the shop drawings for the manholes. But they have to put the manholes and the details of the drawing.
Right, the design details of what they have to build it to will be on the drawing.
And we'll see that here at our commissioner meeting?
You can bring it here.
Well, I think it'd
they're
be,
probably in that plans right there, I would assume.
Mike and I are still working on the
Okay.
details.
Those plans are all incomplete from everybody, so,
Yeah. But I mean, it's a pretty standard detail.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
So I'm sorry, on the west side, there's an existing manhole.
On the west side, there's an existing manhole that we're,
No, there ain't an existing manhole in that one.
huh?
On the west side of the project, on the west side of the brook he's talking about?
Oh, there's not an existing manhole. I guess they've just plugged into the side of the line
Yeah,
somehow.
what we did is when we installed an insertity, because that's the only way you can tie into Permalock without a structure. Because
Okay.
the pipe's ribbed on the outside
Yeah.
now. So when we did the villa, we inserted T into that pipe and we ran gravity. We put the manhole, and we tied the villa force main into that manhole.
Yeah, it's a strange pipe. It's like wrapped and ribbed on the outside,
Yeah.
and it kind of goes like this,
Spiral bound.
spiral, and it's
The fiberglass.
just a weird thing. No, it's plastic. It was one of the first large diameter plastics pipes you could get. They didn't have the regular,
Yeah,
So the only way to core into it is to drill a hole, and there's like a rubber boot that goes in it, and then there's a flange with a hose clamp, so you slide the pipe in, and then you crank down on the hose clamp, and the flange just seals itself against the pipe.
right. They call that an insertity.
And they didn't make it, they didn't use it for very long, till they came out with a, regular large diameter plastic pipe.
Right, because that's the only thing you could use in that ribbed pipe. You can't put a saddle on it, because it's ribbed.
Mhm.
So, that's the only method you could tie into this. That's the only way anybody's gonna tie into that interceptor without putting a structure in.
I guess you mentioned that you're relaying some pipe on the west side, right?
Correct.
And I'm just trying to get a picture of how does that tie into,
What you're gonna do is, that's where the doghouse manhole comes into play. Where our insertity is, there's gonna be a doghouse manhole in that location.
They're gonna replace the Certity with a second doghouse manhole.
One doghouse manhole.
But that's on the,
I thought that
The
was
one
east
on
side.
the one on the east side, there's already a sewer manhole in the railroad bed they're gonna connect to.
that's what I asked.
The one on the west side of the brook, headed towards the village, that's where the insertity's gonna get replaced by a doghouse manhole.
No, I'm confused.
Because there's two sides of this project. The brook separates the project.
But the side where there's an existing sewer connection.
Right.
That's the Incertity you're talking about.
Right.
And that's the one we're gonna leave in place.
No, we're gonna put a doghouse manhole on that.
And how are you gonna do the connection on the other side of the
The
brook?
other connection, they're gonna core and boot the existing manhole.
Okay.
with an 8-inch.
I'm confused on which is the east side, which is the west side then. Okay,
Well, it's two
so
pages.
that's the east side, right?
This is the east side, there's a sewer manhole here that we're gonna core and boot into that one.
Ah, okay. I had east as the doghouse, so east is core and boot.
And then, I think it was my confusion too, and then the west is where the certainty is, where the existing line comes into it, that we're gonna put the doghouse manhole.
So there is a manhole on the other side.
So the relaying of the pipe to the lower slope is the east side?
No, this is where, there's an existing pipe here. This is
Yes.
to the west side, that we're gonna relay this pipe. It's where the certainty comes into it, where we're putting the doghouse manhole,
Okay. And what size pipe is that?
8-inch, but
Okay.
existing and proposed,
Right, and then you're relaying it at minimum slope or?
minimum slope, yes.
And they're gonna have to give an easement for the Villa Augustina, because their wastewater's gonna go through their project.
Right, we'll give them a flow easement for our project.
And all your calculations are gonna work out that you can handle both projects with the 8-inch pipe.
Yes.
That's what she just gave me the sheet for.
I gave her what my flow is, because I don't know what the Villa Augustina flow is, because there's no use there now.
What size tank does that pump, Mike? A 5,000 tank when it discharges that tank?
Nah, can't be.
That's not a 5,000 gallon tank on the Villa side?
That's gotta be just as big as Elm Street is. 10 by 10 building. It's been years since I looked at it.
Well, I think we need to find that out, wouldn't you? Find out what the, at least what size tank that is for, till you know the discharge from that when the pump fires?
Yeah,
Really what you need is the pump rate.
yeah.
But I gotta believe that even
It's gotta
8-inch
be-
minimum slopes orders of magnitude higher.
It's probably 100 gallon minute pump, I think, yes. I'll have to go inside and see if I can get in. See what size pump station that is. It's been years and years since I've been in that place.
No, I think that's
8-inch should
pertinent
take a lot of
information.
flow, even at minimum slope.
But wouldn't you have known that when you put in the pipe? When you put in the gravity pipe?
I don't know, Don Ambers was the Public Works Director at the time, and he took care of it. He told us what to be putting in, so.
Well, I think before they finalize their plans, they should at least have that information.
Yeah, just tell me how to get it.
we'll have to
It's a
get-
it's private property, so I
Yeah.
can't tell you what to do with it.
Right, but I mean, did they ever have a sewer permit through the sewer commission?
Well, that was in existence for since in the 50s. So that probably wasn't at the time.
So the sewer interceptor project, did that come through the sewer commission?
Yes.
Interceptor did, but the Villa Augustina, that was before our time.
Right, but when they hooked into the interceptor, wouldn't, I mean, when you designed the interceptor, wouldn't you have known what the flow was?
It's a
from-
27-inch pipe.
I'm just asking,
You know, it
what,
could handle this town 10 times over.
I'm just trying to,
I
Figure
understand.
out
I want to
how
make
to
sure
get
that,
the
I just want to
flowage.
be sure that when you do your final calculations, that the 8-inch pipe for your project combined with the pump discharge from the villa is adequate to handle both simultaneously. I'll leave that to you.
Well, why don't we leave it like this? If you could get us the detail sheets, for what they were asking about the manholes and everything, the sooner the better. And we'll take a look at them. If we don't have any concerns, we'll just leave it to the Public Works Department to issue the state discharge permit. And if we do have any concerns, we'll get a hold of you or whatever. Is that?
okay, so I'll submit the plans back through planning for
Yeah.
you to look at, Mike?
Yeah,
And then when you're satisfied, they'll come back to the sewer
yeah, I
commission?
can,
Yeah.
you can print them up, the few of the sheets that you need for sewer, I can print them up and they can have them.
Right,
Yeah.
when I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we get all this stuff.
I don't think it'll be necessary to come back unless we stumble on something that, you know, we can't accept, so to speak.
I'm good.
Okay? Okay. Well, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Moving ahead. We got some warrants to sign?
They already signed them.
They already
I
signed
know
them?
we did this one.
Just one other question while you're here. When would you like to start? Do you have a hopeful date to start, or any idea what your timetable is?
Sooner the better. I
Yeah.
mean, this summer would be great.
Okay.
As soon as the planning board gives us the thumbs up, and we've got, what's the other tool we need in Concord? Disturbance to the ground, what do they call it?
Okay.
AOT, yeah. As soon as we
Great.
get those, we're ready to go.
It'll be a good project for the town.
I think it will. There's so much demand. I run into people all the time, we can't find a place to live, and we're gonna keep the prices under 300,000. And, yeah, put a lot of amenities in and stuff inside the units, so. There's big demand for it, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you got something, Tim?
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Mike Walton did finally give his notice to the Public Works Department that he was going to retire, and he retired a week ago, Friday, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. And I had been meeting with Megan Perrio when she was director. I met with Mike Hillhouse when he was covering as an interim director, and I had a face-to-face with Adam Jacobs at the party that last Friday, urging him to get the ball rolling on advertising Mike's position and getting us moving towards getting the position filled. I've had subsequent emails and phone conversations with him, and he has informed me that he is working on a reorganization plan at the Public Works right now. And once he discusses that with the Board of Selectmen and works it out to where it's either happens or doesn't happen, then he will be able to move forward with posting the actual position. I've been in touch with Mike as well, informing him that I'm not leaving him out there trying to do everything by himself, and he has been doing everything by himself. And I believe after my conversation with Adam today, that he is starting to have some guys go with you. Has that happened yet, Mike?
Yeah, I've been doing that for the past week.
Okay, good. Well, then he is doing what we asked to get done. So there's a couple of guys within the department that are interested in the position. We always advertise in-house first before we ever go out to the general public. So at this point, we are working with Public Works, and we are progressing, and hopefully I'll have some better, more concrete news to report at another
Good,
monthly meeting. But it's been
Well, thanks for taking care of that.
It's been winter, they have plowing to do, so it was a little tough to get guys to go riding prior to this past week when I spoke with Adam, and Adam's very diligent, he's working on it very, very hard with us. So I think we're looking good. And I want to remind everyone that when that, if I'm not mistaken, at our prior meeting, when that sewer pickup is worn out, I don't know when that's going to be, I believe that it's our responsibility to buy the next pickup. Is that correct because the Public Works bought the last pickup? So we might have to look into that and make sure that that is correct.
Well, we'll look into it, but I'm 99% sure that that's the way it was, that, we bought one, they bought one, we bought one, they bought, now it's our turn.
So I'm just saying that when we get a better handle on that, and I'll check with the town mechanic and report back, but when that pickup is due to be replaced, we're gonna have to budget a year ahead for a pickup in our budget. So we're gonna make sure that it doesn't come up by surprise.
That's a good point.
We also are gonna also be thinking about the CIP plan, which is calling for that VACCON, which we have a 25% stake in, to be replaced in 3 to 5 years. So we're gonna have to budget our 25% of about $500,000 for that. when that time rolls around. So those are the two vehicles that we are responsible for cost sharing or replacement of, the pickup being the replacement. So unless I've missed anything, Chet, have I missed anything?
You have not, thank
Okay.
you.
So I think we just have to be aware of, and I'll check with the town mechanic on his expected lifespan of that pickup truck. Okay? Thank you. Motion to adjourn. If that's what you're looking for.
Well, Chad, do you have any concerns, questions?
No, I'm looking forward to hearing what Adam has to say Monday night, so it's
Okay.
good to get that, so thanks for letting us know, Tim.
Well,
Thank you.
being careful not to.
Anyone else
Set
have
my
any,
bounds.
any business?
No.
All right, no.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Quick.
Maybe we gotta tell Trey.